Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Misty at Skeeter Jones, and this is this week's things where I'm bringing you part 2 of the box from Jeanette at Gigi's Gems. Part 1 of that box was really awesome. You should go back and check that out if you haven't seen it already. But this week I'm bringing you the second half of that box plus a few other surprises. And so you'll hear in the video why I'm not, or some reference to the fact that the intro is being filmed after most of the video. And that's because today is editing day. I filmed most of the video 2 days ago while I was waiting for my daughter to come over to do some wedding prep errands. So she got here close to the end, really. So most of the video I'm in pink nail polish. At the end of the video, I'm in this nail polish because I just finished filming the rest of the video, and then doing the beginning at the end. I'm now filming the intro to the whole video. So that's the whole setup for what you're about to see. I hope you enjoy the things that I'm bringing to you this time. So let's just jump right in and show you what I have from Jeanette at Gigi's Gems. Even though you have already seen by now the intro to this video, I haven't actually filmed it yet as of the time I'm filming this that you're seeing right now. I'm going to film the intro later because, as you will have heard on the intro, I just realized I had a few minutes, maybe about 45 minutes or so, to film before my daughter arrives for our Saturday of wedding preparation activities. So I'm going to see how much I can get filmed before she gets here. So jumping right in, this is a new with tags. Looks like an older, maybe vintage piece. It was originally $45 from Macy's. I don't see the original. There's a return label. What does that say? Magical journey inspired by the fashion of Brazil. This is shell and it looks like brass. Very pretty and colorful. There's some metallic sort of bronze colored beads right there. Lobster clasp with brass findings on that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 strands of a very colorful, beautiful necklace. Look at that. If there's anything you like here, just email me as usual, skeeterjonesthings@gmail.com. This has a drop of 7.5 inches. That's at its lowest size, smallest size, I should say. And the longest it will go to, this has an extender. Pretty generous extender. The longest it'll go to is a 9-inch drop. So a nice pop of color you can add to your fall outfits. That's so pretty. It has a little bit of weight to it because of this being shell. Listen to all these pretty, bright, vibrant colors. So, original $45. And the tag, to me, I don't know, it just looks kind of vintage. So that's ready for gifting, especially if you know somebody who likes vintage jewelry. So let's see, we'll do that one. It was $45 originally. Let's just do that for $10. Very pretty. I love all those colors. So anything you're interested in, did I say that just now? Email me, skeeterjonesthings@gmail.com. We will work it out there. I just shipped out October packages yesterday. November packages are going to ship out before Thanksgiving on the 24th and 25th of November. So I get all your orders in throughout the month. This is 925. And everything will ship out Monday and Tuesday, the 24th and 25th. So this is just part 2 of the lot from Jeanette, Gigi's Gems. And as you have heard from part 1, I'm not testing this because I don't trust what she's put there. I'm testing it just because I like to test things. And some people just enjoy seeing that also. And there it is, coming up positive for sterling, as of course I expected it would do. And she didn't indicate anything about these stones, so I'm assuming they're just CZs. They're very bright, pretty CZs. Let's just see what the Gem Eye says. I already got it turned on and warmed up and everything. Okay, it's coming up in glass, so these are rhinestones or possibly just crystal, but very pretty, with this little ribbon design kind of woven in between these graduated CZs that have a lot of sparkle to them on this sterling chain. That's beautiful. Okay, where did the little bag go for that? That's going to be number 2. And that one is going to be, we'll do that one for 10 also. If you're new here, hello. I am glad to have you along. I've gotten several new subscribers here recently. So welcome, and I really appreciate you clicking that subscribe button to join me on my my little jewelry journey. Okay, not sterling. So I won't test to confirm that. This looks like a set. Oh, it is. Really sparkly set. This is probably crystal from all the sparkle it has. I'm edging ever closer to that 600 mark, and you know how I like to do, every time I hit one of the 100 landmarks, I like to do a giveaway, so I'm already thinking about what that giveaway can be. Okay, this is a nice high setting. I love those high settings. And look at all the sparkle. My nails look terrible, I know, especially for going out and doing wedding errands with my daughter, but it was just hard to find the time to sit still long enough for those to dry. I get them done myself. I don't go out and get my nails done. These are some very sparkly, pretty ones too. And they're kind of large. There's just some scale on that. And this one's the same size on the necklace. I do my nails myself just because if I paid for a manicure, it would only last for a few days because of going to the ceramic studio that wreaks havoc on a manicure. So I don't really want to spend the money to get my nails done only to have it wrecked after a few days. So this set is not sterling, and it has these gorgeous sparkly CZs, and it is a set. So we're going to stick with $10 here for this. It's going to be number 3. 10, but you're getting the earrings and the necklace. So that's just like $5 each for these gorgeous, bright, sparkly, like all the rainbow colors coming out in these beautiful CZs. Thank you to everybody who watched the pop-up sale on Friday. I love crafting and making, and I really enjoy when people have nice positive things to say about the things that I've made. I got such a great response to those. Got a lot of people who watched the video, and had lots of nice messages, emails, and responses and comments. Okay, this is going to be number 4. Look at this chain. If you've been around here a while, you know I kind of geek out over interesting chain. That's a really cool chain. It's a gold tone, lobster clasp. Very, very minimal tone loss on some of these links. Like, it's really hard to see, and mostly all the tone loss I'm seeing is on the back, so it wouldn't really be obvious when you're wearing it. All the rhinestones are there. Jeanette sends great items, so it's not really surprising that all of the rhinestones are there. That's gorgeous. Okay, this one is not adjustable, and it is a size right at about a 7. This beautiful gold tone. It kind of has a vintage look. Like, it looks sort of 70s or so to me. Okay, there's some little space right here. Let me see if it's made that way. Yeah, it appears to be made that way. So it's only attached in spots. Like in 3 places all the way around it seems to be attached. But then otherwise it kind of is free from the chain, which kind of gives it this little floating appearance. Okay, so it's all good. It's attached in, it looks like 3 places around the chain. And that's beautiful. It looks like maybe 70s to me. Oh, that one's hard to peg, but I do think it's vintage. So number 4, and we're gonna do that one for $5. It's beautiful. It's so pretty, and I love, love, love that chain. So I'll craft as much as I can sometime soon, and do another crafted items show. Okay, oh, there's a little empty bag. That's something I left behind right there. And it was stuck to this. That's why I even picked it up. So these are not marked on, the bag's not marked, but I thought I saw something on the back. Yeah, there is something on the back there. What does that say? CW? I'll have to research that later and see what that is. Let's see what a scratch looks like for these. No, that's not a silver scratch. So some really nice silver tone. And that's some mother of pearl inlay. And it's a pretty leaf design. Those are gorgeous. It's about an inch from the top of the hook to the bottom of the leaf. And here comes the ear. And I guess the decision's made. We'll call the ear Earline. So here's how it looks on Earline, and therefore a reasonable representation of how it might look when you wear it. So those look new. There's a brand on those, which looks like a CW. I'm not sure about that. So that's going to be number 5, and we'll just do those also for $5. I'll research that name, but the price here is going to stick. So if this ends up being like a great brand that's worth a lot, then you're going to get an incredible deal. I think it's a good deal regardless, because earrings that look like this I would list for probably $8 or $10 at least on eBay. So probably 10 is what I would list these for, unless, you know, it was a really high-end brand. But I'm not going to go up with my viewers here. It'll stay $5 even if this turns out to be a really really high-end brand. So coming out to number 6 now. This looks interesting. This looks very 80s to me. Maybe like somebody's homemade project. Rosella's Heart. So I guess Rosella made this. And it's brass or brass tone. You have a cheetah and then something here with maybe a reptile skin type of print. There's a giraffe and then some buttons and some chain all glued onto this backing here. And it's large and it's statementy and it looks very, very 80s. This is a big one. It's about 4 inches across from the top of the brooch to the bottom of the brooch. It's about 2 1/4 inches. And then with the chain, that gives it another, I don't know, maybe 1 3/4 inches. So altogether from the top of the brooch to the bottom of the chain is almost 4 inches. And then it's 4 inches across. So there's all your elements there on this. If you have an 80s themed party to go to, that's a good piece for that. So this is going to be number 6. And we'll just do this one for $3. That's very, very cool. Okay, number 7. Let's see what we have. Oh, some Givenchy. Oui, oui. Okay. These are pretty. New on card. Looks like CZ and gold tone. They're nice and long. Originally $48. So let's bring out Earlene. I always like to show what the earrings will look like on. So that's what Earlene is for, but I'm aware that maybe the ear might freak some people out. So that's why I always give fair warning on that. So far, nobody has said that it freaks them out, but you know, there's new people coming along all the time. So I don't want to run the risk of not announcing it. And then there's that person that's kind of bothered by it. So I like to give fair warning so somebody can fast forward or something like that before they see the ear, if that's something that would bother them. So here's what it looks like from the side. And they're long and sort of, I guess what I would call, you may have heard this phrase from me before, understated statement piece. It's almost 2 inches long. And statement as in, like, it's a nice piece with a lot of sparkle. It's a large piece with a lot of sparkle, but it's not really as statementy as something that's really colorful and really, you know, heavy looking or large. Very pretty. These were originally $48 and they are new on card. So these will be number 7. And we'll do those for $10. I love these boxes from Gigi's Gems. I'm going to try to get 2 more of these in before the end of the year. I've been talking to her about that. And she's kind of described collections that she would like to curate. And I'm really excited about those and bringing those to you. Okay, next, number 8. Oh, how cute. These are little hearts, very southwestern looking. These have a very, to me, sort of a, these are not sterling, but they have a kind of a Taxco feel, Taxco vibe to them. This sort of a doily edge, the raised heart in the middle. And I like that, you know, raised setting kind of look. So these are silver tone and really, really cute. So almost 1 inch long and about 1 inch across. Oops, dropped one. But that's how they look. It is silver tone. And don't misunderstand, these are not Taxco. They just kind of have that Taxco vibe to me. That's how they look on Earlene. And I just gave you the big speech about why I give fair warning, and I apologize, I did not give a fair warning that time. So hopefully there's nobody here that's bothered by Earlene. But this is how that would look on. cute. So these are number 8. And these will also be $3. Those are adorable. Okay. Salvar. This is a claddagh, which is an Irish symbol for friendship. Let's see, there's the, it can mean love too, but also means friendship. There's the brand. On rings, it depends on which way you wear it. I can't remember, either it means you're single or available, or it means like it was given by a friend or a romantic interest. I can't remember the difference, but there is a difference depending on which way you wear it, you know, this way or this way if it's a ring. But this has got a pretty little stone. It doesn't feel cold, so that's, well, actually it does feel like a stone. Let's pop the gem eye up here and see what it says. Ooh. I'm still figuring out some of the differences between the gem eye and the Presidium. See, this goes into the garnet tourmaline iolite. It touches tanzanite and chrysoprase. So a pretty little green stone there with a little bit of white in it right there. That's a pretty claddagh. I have some Irish in my heritage, and I've had lots of claddagh in my day. Let's see, there's no markings on the chain. So this is a silver tone chain and a little silver tone claddagh. Give you a link on that one. It does not have an extender. The length is, or the drop is about 8.5 inches. And then the pendant from the top of the bail to the bottom of the pendant is about 1.5 inches. So that's gorgeous. I don't see any tone loss. There's some light surface scratching, but the tone looks like it's in perfect condition. Lobster closure, and this pretty little semi-precious stone. And here's the detail in it. I love when there's detail in things. Okay, we will do this one. Where's my Sharpie? This one is going to be number 9. And we'll do it for $5. So I have some Irish in my heritage and some Scottish. On one side, this is my mom's side and my mom's dad's side. My mom's maiden was Wilkerson, and my mom's dad's side was Wilkinson. And so when my grandmother married him, she only had to change like 2 letters in her name. A little bit of trivia. But number 9 for $5, the gorgeous little claddagh. Okay, this. Okay. This one's interesting. Let's look at the tags on it first. Handmade in Israel. Seigel green design. There's the hang tag. And it's new with tags. These are maybe, what are these? Like coated, some kind of coated cord. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strands. And then this gold tone sort of wrap, looks like a ribbon that's wrapped around it in the front. So let's give a measurement on that. There's a little bit of an extender, not a whole lot. But the drop as it is 8 inches, and then it looks like maybe another couple of inches on the extender, and 9 inches. 9 inches extended all the way out, 8 inches without the extender. That's really pretty. So new with tags, Steigel green design. This is going to be number 10. And we're going to do that one. We'll do that one for 5 also. So I just checked Life 360 and she's not on her way yet. So I still have a few minutes. There we go, number 10. Okay, here's some more sterling. And I'll need a bag for this one. There we go. Okay. So this is a pretty little open work butterfly. It has a beautiful vintage patina on it. The sterling chain. Gorgeous. And we're going to test it. Again, not because I don't trust Jeanette's labeling, but because I just like to test and I like to let you see it be tested. Okay. Sometimes it takes just a minute to come up. And it's coming up, but it looks like I didn't make a good enough scratch. So let's try that again. I saw it turning blue, but the scratch wasn't big enough. I don't think it would have showed on camera, so let's try it again. Okay, there we go. And there it is. Nice and blue and positive for sterling, as we expected. Put it back in its little card there. Now I don't want to undo the packaging there, but it looks like this might be an 8 or 9 inch drop. If you're interested, but you need it to be a certain measurement, I will undo that and measure it and send you those results. Just email me about it. So this butterfly is about 1 inch wide and about a little more than 1/2 inch from top to bottom right there. So nice and delicate and pretty with a beautiful vintage patina on that. And this one is number 11. And we're going to do that one for $10 for a beautiful piece of sterling. Okay. Some pretty little rhinestone cuff bracelets. We'll do these as a set. Beautiful gold tone. The gold tone on this looks new to me. I don't see any sort of markings as far as brand or anything like that. So it's a gold tone with these gorgeous sparkly stones with halos around them. Let's see. Okay, that's how it looks on with one of them. And if you wear them together, which I am going to do these as a set, there they are together. The size, which isn't extremely important on open cuffs like this, but the size is about a 7 because they're very flexible. So you have a little bit of adjustability there. And really nice rhinestones, and those are good settings. Settings like that with the holes in them that allow light to come through just really helps the sparkle on things like this. So this one's going to be number 12. And we'll do the set of those for $4. Those are really pretty. Nice and snazzy for your like Christmas or New Year's events coming up. A pretty little ring, maybe genuine pearl, maybe faux pearl, let's see. These are, well, it's kind of hard to, yeah, these are little genuine freshwater pearls in a ring. And you have, did I see? Yeah, there's a little gold tone bead that you can wear it on top so it shows, or you can, wear it so it doesn't show. The size on that, it stretches a bit. So the size without any stretch, let's just let it see where it stops. Without any stretch at all, it's about a size 8, just a little more than an 8. But it has some stretch to it. You don't want it to stretch too much because then, it'll gap like that. But there it is. It's very pretty little genuine pearls on a stretch band, size 8. Number 13, lucky 13. And a little bit of pearls for your finger. We'll just do that one for $4 also. Usually when you see pearls on a ring, it's as a solitaire or something like that on a metal band. So this is sort of a different way to wear some pearls. Okay, number 14. Oh, this is interesting. This looks very artsy. These beautiful honey, amber, cognac kind of colors. Look at that. This also looks very 80s to me. All kinds of gold tone scroll work around these. That's glass, I think. Yeah, that's glass. So you have art glass pieces here. I'm almost certain. Yeah, that's art glass on these substantial mountings. Like, look at the construction on that. And there you have 4 pieces. So you have this piece, and then this piece, and then this big piece. That's 3, and then 4, and then 5. So 5 pieces all together. There's a little bit of, I'll see if I can get that off. It looks like maybe where a bit of the glass, molten glass maybe just dripped on that. I don't know, I'll see if I can clean that off. It may just be part of the design. And speaking of the design, just look at that. If you could hear that vehicle passing by just now, that was our mail carrier, which I'm very excited about because We're looking at, believe it or not, I'll see if I can show you a picture of this later. We're looking at some wooden flowers, as weird as that sounds, for my daughter's wedding. So I'll show these to you in a different video, but they're out for delivery today. So that was our mail carrier. So I'm really excited that that arrived before I go out with my daughter. So back to this. I don't see any wear or tone loss on the clasp. It's a matte gold tone, and it just has the effect of this ribbon being woven through all of these gorgeous honey amber art glass pieces with these sort of golden citrine or topaz colored rhinestones. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. That's very like an art teacher would wear this, I think. Or an artist would wear this. An artist made this, I'm sure. See, it's got a 7-inch drop without the extender. With the extender, it comes all the way out to an 8.5-inch drop. This gorgeous chain. Again, you know what a nerd I am about chains. It's a nice rope chain. All matte gold tone. That's a very beautiful piece. And that's going to be number 14. And we're going to do that one for $10. What I love about that, I think this is an artisan piece. I kind of hope it is. I'd be disappointed if this was made in a factory, because this just, to me, has the look of an individual sitting down and getting an idea, designing it, and then executing their design. So the dogs are going crazy. I'm going to go out and meet the mail carrier and see if my flowers are here. Okay, the flowers are here, and I'm going to drop in pictures. You would be amazed. I haven't opened the box, but you'd be amazed at the box because there's a huge red and white sticker on the box that says fragile. Fragile. But the box obviously was not handled like something that is fragile. So I'm going to drop pictures in of the box. But getting on with this. Number 14 for $10. Gorgeous, gorgeous, to me, artisan looking piece. Okay, number 15. This is something we're going to be testing on the Gemini. Red jasper or bloodstone. That is not going to show up. Bloodstone, I believe, is that an agate? I used to know exactly what bloodstone was, but I don't remember. But very pretty. Now, red jasper or bloodstone don't have specific markings on a gem tester, so it's not going to show up saying definitively that it's one of those. But again, I just like to test stuff. So you're along for the ride. So this shows up firmly in the quartz citrine amethyst, and also in the tanzanite aquamarine. Yeah, very pretty. Deep reds and blacks, a little bit of cream colored, and it's a stretch bracelet. And it's gorgeous. The size on it without stretching at all. The size is a 7. Here's how it looks on. Absolutely beautiful, especially if you like those reds. These are more of like a, I would say a warm red. I don't know how it's coming across on camera, but if that's a distinction you like to know about, this is more of a warm red than with the black matrix and specks in it, streaks. So this one's number, what did I say? This will be 15. And we'll do this one for $5. Very, very pretty. Okay, 16. Oh, this has sort of a 1960s vibe to me too. Oh, this is Loft. And it's got some weight to it. And again, this nice, pretty much Rolo chain. The links are more oval than round. And I can't tell if it's made to look vintage. You know, sometimes that sort of worn appearance is intentional, and I can't really tell if that's intentional or not. Okay, judging from these links and comparing them up here, I don't think it's intentional. So I'll give that a cleaning. This is perfectly safe to put through the ultrasonic because it's all gold tone. But look at the front of this necklace. To me, that has a very 1960s feel. And it has some nice weight to it. It's nice and cold. Here's the construction on the back. See, I got it twisted somehow. There we go. These are substantial. Like, look at these links. They're hollowed out on the back, but they're deep and thick. The longest one in the middle is almost 2 inches long. The shortest one on the end is 1 inch long. And I really like this one. So it's a matte gold tone. The pendant sections here are, well, I was about to say these are brushed, but they're not. They are a matte. I'll put this through the ultrasonic cleaner. Here's your Loft hang tag. This probably is vintage. It's not 1960s, because I don't think Loft has been around that long, but it is vintage, I would say. And in case you're not aware, vintage is defined in the fashion world as at least 20 years. This is 7.5 inch drop at its shortest. At its longest, it's about an 8 3/4 drop. Very beautiful. A nice statement piece. It looks very classy. Love that. So that's going to be number, where are we? Number 16. Hopefully I haven't duplicated any numbers. And this one is going to be $5. So, yeah, anything that is at least 20 years old is vintage, and at least 100 years old is antique. So So you might hear from time to time, I'll call something very vintage, and to me that means like it's all close to antique. Like if something's 80 years old, I like to be a little more specific than just calling it vintage, because it could be called vintage at 20 years, and I would like to just give you a better idea of exactly how vintage it is. So when I use the term very vintage, that means it's going to be greater than 50 years old. And that's just my little definition. It's not any definition you'll hear anywhere else probably. Okay, this is Rush by Dennis and Charles. Kind of hard to see that. It's nice and heavy. Well, not really heavy. It's sort of like a mid-heavy. And these are glass faceted beads. That looks like a disco ball. This is an interesting spacer here. It's made with these baguette stones alternating with these little bands of rhinestones. And then that's put together to be like a bead. That's pretty neat. And there's these seed beads in between and rondelles in between these clear stones and these gray ones. Here's a pave set round bead. And all the tones are grays and then gold tone and this smoky color. And this big one, it looks like it's front and center. This is a long one, so let me check that. Yeah, so this is the front and center bead right here. And then that's just how it goes up. Sort of an asymmetric. It's not going to be symmetrical on both sides. Looks like it is to a point. From the top, you have these gray ones all the way down. And then you have this section that looks the same all the way down to about here. And then here's where it sort of goes asymmetrical. The rest of it looks like that. Then down to the main bead in the front. So overall, the length on this is a 19-inch drop at its shortest. And then you have about a 2-inch extender. Nice glammy look. Nice festive look for your holiday parties. Rush by Dennis and Charles right there. This one's number 17. And we'll do that one for, let's just do that one for $3. It's very pretty. Don't see any tone loss, just some very light surface scratches on the lobster clasp. Nice and sparkly and pretty. Okay, number 18. This looks like, oh, it is. I love critter jewelry. This is elephants. Trunks up. And I think trunk up has like a good luck meaning or something like that. And sort of these little crescent moons around the closure. It's a matte gold tone. Let's see. There's no branding, no notes on the bag. So nobody gets credit for this. I hate when there's not somebody to give credit to. So these are strung like beads on a double chain. And the size is the size. There's not an extender. Fold over clasp. That's in great shape. Okay, let's open that back up actually so I can give you an idea where'd the clasp go. So I can give you an idea what it would look like on. That's it, and then the beads, you know, slide around. Love that. I have an elephant bracelet that I got from Deborah, a Timeless Jewel by Deborah, a while back. It's a Lucky brand, and it's one of my favorite pieces. It's my regular rotation. So this is a size about almost 7.5. Very pretty. That one is number, am I losing track now? Number 18. And we're going to do that one for $4. Here's my elephant bracelet that I got from Deborah. I got it a while back. This is heavy and brass, and it's Lucky brand. Right there. And I'm just going to wear it for the rest of the video. This is one of my favorite bracelets. Okay, so moving along. Here is maybe a stone to test. Silpata Agate Blue Fire Crackle. Ooh, that sounds nice. A blue fire agate. This, I'm not sure if the color is going to come across. No, the color doesn't look the same on screen as it does in person. The color is close to like a deep blue teal. Let's see where it registers on the Gemini. And the Tanzanite Aquamarine and the Quartz Citrine Amethyst, which I believe agate is a quartz. I'm not certain on that, but I believe it is. So here's a piece of abalone strung there with it. So Silpata jewelry is, I don't know, the way I would describe it is kind of earthy. So it makes sense that there would be, like, here's a leather cord. So you've got leather, this stone, and this piece of shell together. Wouldn't be surprised if this is sterling right here. Silpata frequently, well, not frequently, I would say probably always, if not almost always. If it's the color of sterling and it's on a Silpata piece, you can pretty much be certain that it's sterling. So there's the bead, and we'll go ahead and find the clasp and test that while we're at it. The clasp is probably stamped because they usually are on Silpata pieces. Yeah, you probably can't see it. It's really tiny right there. But we'll go ahead and do the clasp as well, because why not? And then here is the Silpata mark. It's this little arrow stamp. And let's check this little bead also. Which I'd be surprised if it's not sterling, just because anything that looks sterling, like I said, anything that is that color is pretty much going to be sterling if it's on a Silpata piece. So the top one, the top scratch is this bead. The next scratch is this little thing right here. And then the bottom scratch right there is the clasp. And those are all, this is Silpata, so these are all going to come up sterling. And, you know, there they are. Okay. Love Silpata pieces. So I've gotten it all tangled around on itself. Let's see if I can get that undone. I'll unclasp that to make it a little quicker, hopefully, to get it untangled. Okay, I paused the camera for a minute just because that was taking a minute. But I do have it untangled now. So you have a double leather cord And then these tiny beads. There's not an extender, so the length is the length. And the length is, it's about 10 3/4 inch drop. The pendant is, well, it won't quit moving, about 1.5 inches from the top of the blue stone here to the bottom. It's about 1.5 inches. And then you have these beautiful other elements with it. A piece of shell right here, the abalone. Then you've got the piece of sterling right there, and then the sterling bead, and then these little beads. Very, very pretty. Love those rich colors. So this is number 19. And this one's going to be $15 for a gorgeous silpata piece. I don't know where Jeanette sources her things from for these boxes, but she definitely gets good things. Let's see, this will be number 19, and this is glass beads or crystals, multi-strand, as you can see right there. And it's in layers, it's in multiple lengths. Okay, the shortest length is this little delicate rope chain. And it's going to be about an 8.5 inch drop. That is without the extender. And you have a very generous, like 4-inch drop. I don't know, 3-inch? Yeah, 3-inch drop. Or 3-inch extender, I mean. 8.5 inches to the shortest layer, which is this one here. This one. An 8.5 inch drop there, but then you have a 3-inch extender right here. And how extenders work, if something has like an 8.5 inch drop and then a 3-inch extender, that doesn't mean it goes to 9, 10, 11.5 inch drop. You only get half, whatever the extender is, half of that is how long it will increase the drop. So keep that in mind when you are hearing necklace lengths and then the length of the extender. So again, without the extender, the drop on the whole necklace, the longest length, is a 12-inch drop. So then with a 3-inch extender, a 12-inch drop will give you 1.5 extra inches. So it'll go from 12 inches on the longest layer here to 13.5 inches. The colors here are this sort of rosy color. Then you have these smoky gray silver ones, these sort of champagne colored ones in the middle, and then alternating with this delicate rope chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strands of that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strands of beads. So it looks like with each strand, oh, that's it. With each strand of beads, there's also a strand of the gold tone rope chain. So there's not a hang tag or anything on this. The gold tone is in perfect shape. I don't see any wear. I really don't even notice any surface scratching. So this might be new. This one is number 20. And that one's going to be $8. This one would be pretty for your Christmas parties and stuff like that also. Nice and sparkly and pretty. I just heard my text tone. Maybe that's my daughter telling me that she's leaving her apartment. That was her saying she's leaving her apartment, and it's about a 20-minute drive. So I have just enough time maybe to film the rest of the video. Let's see, this is, could that be amber? Let's see, let's look at these backs. I don't see any maker marks or anything like that on the backs. Nothing on the posts. I'll give these a nice wipe down. Of course, you can't put, you can't, check for amber on the gem eye, but put another trick up the sleeve. Let's see if it fluoresces. Let's turn off the light in the light box and see what we get here. This has that sort of milky fluoresce, but I don't see the inclusions and things that you would expect to see in amber. It sort of fluoresces the way amber would, but there are plastics that will also fluoresce that way. Let's look closer. You'll see little, little insect wings and things like that also in amber. And I don't see any of those. So I don't know. This could be like a manufactured amber, like made out of the same stuff that amber is made of, but just not through the natural process where it's, thousands of years old. So I don't know. They're very pretty. They do definitely have the look of amber. So we're going to do these. These will be number 21. And we're just going to do those for $3. And whoever buys those may end up with some nice amber. Okay. Oh, and I didn't, oops, here comes Earlene. I forgot to put these on the ear for you. Okay. And that's what those would look like on. Okay. And it looks like well, I was about to say it looks like the rest of everything is all earrings, but it's not, because I see a necklace, I see maybe a brooch. Okay, this is going to be number 22. And these are pretty. These little chain drops with a little gold tone bead at the bottom of each one. Just simple little posts. Nice and delicate. And of course they will get the wipe down. Let's put this on Earlene so you can see what that looks like. Oh, so pretty. Just nice and delicate. If that's your look, then these might be for you. Okay, these have an overall length of about 1.5 inches from the top of the post to the bottom of the longest little chain right there. No wear, no tone loss. These are in really, really nice condition. Yep, they both are. So I'll put those through the ultrasonic cleaner. And these are 22 and $3. Avon. Lots of people love their Avon. How cute. Little faux pearls on gold tone. Little tiny Christmas trees. This is maybe about a ½ inch, just over a ½ inch, I think. Well, these are almost an inch, actually. There's the backs on those. Gorgeous, and even the clutches here are even marked right there. Those are super cute. Avon is one of those classics. Like, they definitely have a following, but they don't resell for the most, which is great for people who collect it, because that means that you can build your collection without having to sink a whole bunch of money into it. So number 22, and we're just going to do those for $3. Just in time for Christmas. Oh, I almost forgot. We can't leave Earlene out. Here she comes. And that's how that would look on. How cute. So cute. My mom, way back in the day when I was like kindergarten age, preschool age, she was an Avon lady, and I would go with her on her route. So I saw all the Avon. Okay. There's a note in this one. Let's see, 925 clasp and wire links. Let's see what this is. So smoky colored glass beads. And I love to shine things up in the ultrasonic, so this can definitely go in the ultrasonic. And you know that I love to test. I just like to see that blue streak come up. It's just satisfying to me. So there's the clasp, and it says also the wire links. So let's see if we can get a good scratch on these little wires. And yes, as expected, there they are. Positive for sterling. So there's not an extender on this. It has a drop measurement of 9 inches. And it's these smoky colored glass beads. Actually, I'm going to stick it on the gem eye just to make sure, because it looks suspiciously close to like a smoky quartz. Oh wait, it's not glass after all. So it is a smoky quartz. Okay, so this is 925 wires, and it's not just the links. The wires go through the beads. So this is all sterling and smoky quartz. And it's beautiful. Look at the color there. And quartz can go in the ultrasonic, so this will definitely get a bath, just because things look so shiny after they come out of there. Beautiful. So this one is number 23. And we're going to do that one for, we'll do that one for $8. You have some sterling and you have some smoky quartz, and it's beautiful. Nice weight to it. beautiful. Okay, so now 24 Raquel. I have not seen a Raquel piece in a long time. Look at the chain. I love the alternating links, and each one of these links is textured. Hopefully that's coming through on the camera. I know my nails look terrible, so apologies again for my nails. So this is kind of a longer one. I've got to measure it outside of the box. There's not an extender on it. It has a 15-inch drop. There's the hang tag right here with your Raquel branding. And I don't see anywhere. That's one of the first places it'll show is on the clasp. Just wherever it gets handled the most will be the clasp, and then of course where it sits on the back of your neck. That's why the clasp and the back of a necklace will usually wear faster than the front. But I don't see any wear or tone loss on this at all. And the chain is just beautiful. I love that. So Raquel is number 24. And we're going to do that one for $4. My daughter arrived, and we did get the wedding errands done, or at least a good bit of them done. But she arrived while I had started on this next one that's going to be number 25. And there were some odd things going on with this one, and I just couldn't go into it because we really had to get out and get started on things. But, oh yeah, and that's why my nails are a different color, because this is now Monday. I first started recording on Saturday, so... and the studio is closed tomorrow, so that's usually ceramics day, and if you've been around here a while, you know that I don't ever do my nails the day before ceramics day. But since the studio is closed tomorrow, I decided to go ahead and freshen up a little bit. But this little guy is marked 925 right here, but in testing, he's not actually 925. There was a little bit of blue flake in the streak with the acid, which tells me maybe there's some silver plating, but this he's not 925 through and through. And the stones here, it says on the label, some of them glow. I don't have my UV flashlight right here with me, so she probably put a UV light on it. And I can see how some of the stones are darker and some are lighter. Sometimes that can mean maybe that some of these stones are not original. Maybe it lost some stones and got some of them got replaced over time. So there are ones just like this when I Google lensed it, ones that look exactly like this, and they're listed as 24 karat gold and emerald, and this is definitely not 24 karat gold. The gem testing on this one was kind of inconclusive. Some of the stones showed up like barely out of the glass range, and some were well within glass. Some of them, the needle barely moved. So I think maybe these stones are not all original. Like maybe some of them were replaced at some point, and that would also account for, as I mentioned earlier, some of them looking different, lighter or darker than the others. But it's still a very cute, very pretty little pin that can also be a pendant. There's the construction on the back. There's also a maker's mark right here. I can't remember if I already mentioned that. I wasn't able to make that out just because it's so reflective. By the time you zoom in enough to get a good look at that mark, the reflection coming off of it really obscures it too much, so it's just hard to see it. This is a 925 mark, but in my testing, this piece is not 925, and she's not, claiming here that it is. But it's still a very cute, very sweet little piece. Adorable. And for this cute little guy, who's number 25, we'll do him for $5. He's adorable, and there's no tone loss or wear. He looks brand new to me, just with the exception that some of the stones are different. And honestly, really, he could have been made that way. So I don't know. And if you actually, he tested one way. I put him through the ultrasonic cleaner, and that made him sparkle a lot more. And some of the readings did look a little different after cleaning. So there are much more sophisticated ways of testing gems than the Gem-I or even the Presidium. So if you want to buy this and take it and have it appraised or something, who knows? Maybe it's something. And you'll have an incredible deal if this is actually some precious stones. I don't think it is, just because you don't usually find precious stones mounted in base metal. So there we are, number 25 for $5, this sweet little bee. Okay, number 26. This is some, you know how I like those high chunky settings? This is a pair of earrings with very sparkly CZs. You can get a good close look at those settings. Very plushy looking. And they're kind of big. I mean, they're not enormous, but you know, they're not tiny either. There you go. They're about I don't know, close to a 1/2 inch across, just under a 1/2 inch. Silver tone posts and gold tone settings. Here comes Earlene to show you how those would look on. Very cute. And those also would look nice with your holiday outfits coming up for the holiday season, New Year's and Christmas. I don't see any wear at all on these. The gold tone looks nice and fresh and new, actually. Those are adorable. Okay, and then we'll do those. Those are 26. Oops. And we'll just do those for $4. Very sparkly and very, very pretty. You can see all the colors. Well, hopefully it's coming across on screen. There's so many colors from the refraction on these crystals. Beautiful. And there's not a maker's mark on those, but they do look either new or very lightly used. So next, and I think this is the last piece in this lot from Gigi's Gems, and then I have a few more pieces to add on just to bring it up closer to 30. This one's going to be number 27, and it's kind of heavy, so I'm wondering if these are pearls. They do feel like they're genuine pearls. Here's a silver tone Lifesaver or Senorita clasp. I don't see any wear on the clasp. Well, actually just a touch. Just a very light amount of wear right there. And right here you can see a little bit of copper right there. But that's all really. And the clasp is in great working condition. You're looking at 3 strands of, and it has the weight of genuine pearls. Let's see. Yes, these are genuine pearls. And then here's some chips of probably some type of quartz. So let's test that and see how it comes up. So I'm thinking this is probably going to be a quartz. And yes, it's firmly in the quartz citrine amethyst line. So, and that's probably, these little chips are probably the same quartz. That's a pretty sort of creamy, orangey, golden color, large quartz bead. This has some nice weight to it, as you would expect for pearls and quartz. And that's 3 strands of sweet little freshwater pearls. The size on it, there's not an extender. The size on it is about a 7. If you need some additional length, I can probably add an extender to that. Just let me know if you're interested in this one. Let me know when you request it if you'd like me to add a little bit of an extender to it. So this one's number 27, and we'll do that one for $8. There we go, and that's the end of the lot from Gigi's Gems. And so now, let's see, I have 2 or 3 things here. Okay, this isn't not an upcycle, it's just a handmade. You may know that I am learning hand knotting. So this is a hand knotted pearl necklace that I made Saturday while I watched the Auburn football game, and they lost. And if you keep up with SEC football, you know that Auburn's coach got fired after that game. So yeah, so Auburn's not they're not doing great going into their big game of the year, which is Thanksgiving weekend. But I digress. I made this while I watched that game, and it's these creamy white colored pearls. They have silver tone caps at the end, silver tone crimps, and lobster clasp and extender. And then you have these smaller, as I said, the smaller little creamy white pearls, and they're all hand knotted, all in between. And then here, once you get to the front, there's a pattern of these sort of blush, just barely blush colored potato pearls, and they're hand knotted with the white pearls in between. So there's the pattern on that. The length without the extender is an 8-inch drop, and then the extender gives you another about 2 inches, which means another 1 inch of length. So it would be a 9-inch drop if you used the full 2-inch extender. So I'm really enjoying learning this new skill of hand knotting. Let me know what you think of this design that I came up with. I'm not sure if the color is coming through at all on these larger potato pearls. They're just the very slightest blushy pink, barely noticeable, but they do have a little hue of pink to them. So there that is. And this one is number 27. Is that right? Let me double check. I'm glad I looked. It's 28. And this one's going to be $10. This took about 4 hours. 4 hours, just over 4 hours to make that one. It takes some time to make those little knots and make sure they're tight enough between the beads so the beads don't have space between the knot and the bead, and then also that they're not so tight that the piece looks stiff. You still want it to be able to to have movement. So if it's all too tight, it won't be able to have that nice sort of fluid movement that you want. So number 28 for $10. 29. This is a piece that I already had. I'd gotten it from a lot that I'd gotten earlier in the year. This is a Bella Perlina bracelet in its box, gift ready. Although the box does have, you know, some visible glue on it that you can see right there, but other than there being some visible glue, the box is in good condition. It's not torn anywhere. It just has these places of visible glue on it, but it is Bella Perlina, and it's apparently new. It's, you know, this like Pandora style bracelet. It's all silver tone, and the beads are black and white, a little bit of gold on this one, gold, like gold tone or gold enamel, not actual gold. And then this kind of serpentine snake chain that it's all hanging on. And the original retail on that was $125. And if you're handy cleaning up the box, oh wait, that you have this too. You can pull this little ribbon right here, and then underneath here, it still even has the inspected by thing, and it has this little care card, and then these little storage areas for more beads and charms. And of course, you don't have to have Bella Perlina charms and beads to put on it. Any bead that's of this type could go on here. It has an extender on it, so let's clasp it without the extender. The smallest it can go is pretty small. The smallest it can go is about a 5 3/4 to a 6, and the longest it can go is pretty long. The longest it can go is to an 8. So you have a pretty wide range of size available on it. And there it is, all brand new in the box with the tag, the care card, and storage area for more charms and beads underneath. And the box is in great condition with the exception of just, you know, some visible glue on the outside of it. So this pretty piece, that's going to be number 29. And originally, what was that original? 125. Yeah, 125. So, I don't know, let's do that one. Let's just do that one for $20. That is, you know, gift ready, just with the exception of you might want to clean the box up a little bit. And there we are on that one. Okay, and then let's see, number 30, we'll have 31 pieces. Number 30 is this gorgeous Chico's necklace. It has this chain that's brass, and it needs a bath. It will get one. I'm showing it to you before I've put it in the ultrasonic. But you have this brass chain and these little, I think glass, yeah, those are glass beads. And let me get it sort of untwisted from itself. It is layered. The other chain is just this Rolo chain. And then as you go down, it's kind of asymmetrical. You have these little graduated flowers that look kind of like dogwood flowers. Not exactly, but they look a little bit like dogwood flowers. Dogwoods have 4 petals on them, I believe. And then you come down a little further, And then on this side, you have a little tiny flower and then a couple of bigger ones right here. And then front and center at the bottom, you have these sort of chandelier style flowers with the centers kind of hanging down with these little glass stones in the middle. And they make that nice sound, so let's lay it out. That's how it looks in the front. And I don't know if I can give you a shot of the whole thing. Let's try. So you can see how that asymmetrical thing kind of works. Okay, here's coming down that side. And then when you get to the front, you have this larger faceted glass bead. Yeah, that's glass. And then the other flowers. And these hang down, like I said, kind of chandelier style. And they make that nice sound. So the measurements I'm going to have to give you outside of the light box here. The shorter layer, which is the one with the glass beads on it, is a 16-inch drop. And the longer layer with the chandelier flowers is an 18-inch drop. So 16-inch drop on this chain, 18-inch drop on this Rollo chain, which is the one that has the flowers on it. Then you'd have an extender of about 4 inches. It's a nice generous extender. Lobster clasp. That's in perfect shape. Here's your Chico's branding right here. And that's really pretty. And we'll do that one for $6. Number 30. And that one needs a bath, and it will get one. Oh, actually, I didn't show you. I didn't even look myself to see if there's any wear on the back of these flowers. And no, on the backs of the flowers, I don't really see any wear. On the edges of the flowers, no, you can just see like the brass, but it is a brass necklace. Oh, and here's some more links that are a little different. These larger Rollo links. So it's really pretty. And then that one is going to get a bath in the ultrasonic. So it'll be all ready for whoever wants to buy that for $6. Then the very last piece, number 31. This is a Brighton watch. And how I always do watches, I'll give you the price on it, and then you have an option of adding a battery, and then I'll tell you about that at the end of showing you this watch. So you can see a little bit of surface scratching. You can see a little bit of the copper showing through right along here. And you can adjust it. That's what this is. Like, you can take out this link right here if you need to shorten it. Okay, my nail polish is still soft, and I don't want to risk messing that up right now, but you can open this, which opens just like a bracelet clasp, and then take this piece out, and that way you can shorten the band a little bit if you need to. But here it is. It's probably silver plated because Brighton jewelry is usually. It could be silver tone though, as I'm looking at the back and seeing the little the finish on the back here. But you have this black enamel in the middle, and then there's your Brighton B right here. And a little bit of light surface scratching around the edge of the face, and again the little 3 or 4 sort of bead looking elements right there, and the silver tone and the black enamel. And here it is on the back. Again, there's the Brighton B, Japan quartz movement, stainless steel back. So let's clasp it the size that it is right now. It's a size about 7 3/4, almost 8. But then you can make it a little smaller by taking that one, this piece out, as I was describing earlier. And I can't open that with the side of my finger, and my nail polish is too soft to try to open it again. But 7 3/4, almost 8, and it can go a little bit smaller. If you're interested, just email me. By then my nails will be hardened enough that I can measure that for you and send you pictures. There is a little tiny scratch right here on the face of the watch. And can't really do anything for that, but it is very small and not extremely obvious unless you're holding it under bright light like I am right now. So how it works for batteries, typically when you thrift or get a watch at an estate sale or something like that, it's usually not going to be running. And most of the time, that's only because it needs a battery. So there's a place nearby me that will install batteries for $5. And all of that to say, when I price a watch, that's the price for the watch. And then you can ask me to have a battery put in if you want to. I won't do it unless the buyer asks for it to be done. And then all I do is add that $5 to the price of the watch. I don't make any profit off of the battery. All I do is I just charge you the amount that the pawn shop in town charges me to put the battery in. So there's no extra added to it to benefit me. It's just the price of having the battery installed. So this one is number 31, and it's closing us out. And this Brighton watch we're going to do for $15. It's really, really, really pretty. And, oh, I don't know if I showed you this. There was a little bit, I couldn't open the thing back up again, but a little bit of copper right there on the back of the clasp. Or actually, you can see a lot of copper showing through right there on the back of the clasp. But it is on the back. On the outside, it looks perfectly fine with one exception that I showed you earlier, which is right here next to the clasp. Very small amount of copper showing right there. But it's a really pretty watch. So number 31 for $15, and that is closing us out with this sale. But I am going to give you a sneak peek of a craft project that I have coming up, which is right here. This is some J. Crew chain. I believe it's J. Crew. This is J. Crew chain, and I really love it because it's so thick and substantial and just plushy looking. And then these came from a craft lot that I got recently from Amy, actually, at Ultrasound Wanderer. And I'll put the name of her channel is right here, and then I'll put a link to her channel in the description of this video. But this was a bracelet that came from a lot that I got from Amy, which I'll be kind of unboxing on camera. I've already gotten a peek at it because I knew it would be a while before I could do a video, and I really wanted to see what was in there. So I kind of looked through it already, and I pulled these out. And these are actually going to be a part of this project with this J. Crew chain I just showed you. This is some Stella and Dot chain right here. And then this is a very vintage brooch. So all of these, and maybe a few other elements, are all going to go together in a project that I'll do a craft with me video on, maybe a short or something later this week. So thank you so much for joining me for this video. I really appreciate any amount of time you spend watching the things that I bring to you. And if you enjoyed this content, please give me a like. Please give me a share. Share this out to someone who you think might also enjoy it. Leave me a comment and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.